Hey, this is Josh from Royal Thunder. I'm here at the Cobra Lounge. We're going to show off my rig today, and I guess we'll start with my guitar. This is a 2021 R8. Generally, they put the smaller frets, but I guess this was a special order. It's actually got the full-size frets, the R9 frets that most of them get. But this is really a great guitar. I've loved all the newer, historic, custom shop stuff. I mean, really lightweight. I've loved the custom buckers with the Alnico 3. Super clear in every position. You know, most Les Pauls generally turn to mud when you go to the neck position. They also went to the audio tapers and the Lux Bumblebee caps, which are really awesome, the paper and oil. Really love this guitar. I mean, like I said, their build quality, I feel like from 2018 on, it's just been stellar, historically correct. Love this guitar. I've kind of landed on this just because I love the clarity of like Strats and single coils, but this is, you know, these newer custom buckers that they're putting in historics. Incredible, super clear. So generally how I set this up is everything's full blast, except for in between songs. I'm bringing it up and down. I generally, for years, I was just a bridge pickup player, but since these guitars are so articulate and sound so great, I typically 80 to 90% of the time, I'll stay in the middle position. Super clear, super fat, especially us being a three-piece. I'll still go to like really rocking parts of the solos. I'll hit the bridge, but generally, like I said, I'll keep these wide open as we're playing. I'm not one of those players that really messes with it. I use that more gain staging and pedals. But yeah, that's generally how I set it up. I just use Ernie Ball regular Slinkies 10 gauge. I've kind of gone back and forth through the years. This is a really bright setup. I feel like with the D'Addarios, like you might be edging a little bit too bright. So I've kind of sat on the, Ernie Ball, just regular Slinkies 10 gauge. We actually tuned to E now. For years we were tuned to D standard. I think the last record we did was in D standard, which was Wick. I really wanted this. I really wanted to go back to E. I think it's where the guitar's voice actually. I mean, you know, E is just 440 is where the guitar was designed to sit, and I really feel like it just gives it a certain vibe. You know, you get all the chime, the high end, and the bass holds down all the low end. But so that's been cool. It's been interesting. We've kind of gone back and forth, tried tuning down, but we've gone back to E. It just sounds the best. And so yeah, AC30 hand wireds. I love these amps. This is one of my favorite all time. For years, it's been one of my favorites. I mean, cuts through the mix. There's not any like super extra low end that like muddies up the signal, but it just blooms whenever you really get it cranked up. It's got a great master volume. I usually run in the normal channel on the high input with the bright on. I don't usually use this channel, and I'll use the master volume. I'll crank the channel up about halfway to where it's actually starting to break up a little bit. I use it in 30 watts. These are great because you can put them down to 15 watts. But it's great, man. At this position, at this volume, it's loud. I can play light and it's clean, but it still has great harmonics. You know, it's not a sterile clean. And I can dig in even on the clean and it'll get a little bit of breakup. So it's really super touch sensitive. I love the EL84 amps for that reason. This has the Alnico Blues, one of my all-time favorite speakers. My backup and the other one that I use in stereo, depending on the room, has the greenbacks, which are just equally as great, but I tend to love the harmonic content and just the chime of the Alnico Blues. Yeah, I love these amps. I've considered getting, I'm thinking about in the future getting maybe for even smaller rooms running an AC15 hand wired and maybe a Marshall 74X, because I just love that wattage and to be able to run it in stereo, because some rooms I can't run two of these in stereo. But yeah, so that's the amp I use. Love it. So first off, in the chain, I love the Mogami Platinum cables. They really sound awesome. I've did a shootout with a bunch of them, and while they're expensive, they're great. I've not really had any problems on them, like letting me down. And you know, it's just really full band. Like you get highs, lows, mids, and I really love them. First thing I'm going into is an early Teeth's wah. I love his wah pedals. These are great. This is just a regular picture wah. Going into this, I'm running the Eventide Power Max under here. Really great power supply. You know, really like cut a lot of noise down when I started using those. So going into the Polytune, obviously just a standard tuner. And the fine folks from Earthquaker Devices, they've been very supportive of the band and have really been awesome about working with us. Next one's the Plumes. This is a great, you know, they say it's based off a Tube Screamer, and I've played every version of a Tube Screamer. And I love the Tube Screamer, but it really does, you know, you got from low on the tone knob, it goes from like more lows to mid-range to high. I usually keep it down because my rig is actually pretty bright with, you know, the Vox. It does cut the slightest amount of low end, but it's great. It's very low noise. It's still got a great mid-range, but it still also holds a lot of your original sound from your guitar. So I generally set it up like that. Love this pedal. Going into the hoof, I've used the hoof for many years now. Very versatile big muff. You know, with the level and the shift in tone, you can do just about anything with it, man. You can sculpt the mid-range and the low end. I've always loved the tone knobs where as you turn it up, it cuts the lows and boosts the highs and vice versa. I love this pedal. It's, you know, these two stacked together are just amazing. You know, sometimes a big muff can get a little bit boomy, but like the Plumes will just kind of tighten it up, you know, as I shoot the signal into it. This has kind of been a little like a secret weapon of mine as far as like for trends, like going into like other songs, in between songs, in and out of songs. Usually I'll hit this on and it's just this crazy, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just this like ethereal, like this frequency knob. If you actually turn it, I'll do it live sometimes. It's almost like this vocal, like it takes the signal and it hits these frequencies that sounds like a choir or something. It's so crazy. But I got the decay, it'll decay for a very long time, and it's like super cool. But this is really cool for that. I mean, I really don't use it for anything other than in between songs. Now, here's my Strymon section. I really love these pedals. Strymon just really started working with them, and they're really been supportive to us. And so I picked up all these are the version 2 of the Strymon pedal, this line of pedals. They're really great. They've been upgraded. You know, there's a lot of the stuff like, you know, the spring reverb on the El Capistan used to not be actually on top of the pedal. So a lot of really great things. They all have true stereo in and out. You can see these Y cables that I have in the back here. Next I go into this. This is like, you know, you got a 4-stage and a 6-stage phaser. I haven't really dialed this side in that much yet. I probably will at some point, but I really used the 4-stage on the barber pole kind of flanger setting. It's just super syrupy, like crawling, kind of, you know, constant upward climbing up sound, which is really cool. It sounds really awesome. I use it a lot with the fuzzes, like, and it's just such a really cool sound, man. And also, I went to this like this pedal train. I forget which one it is. Oh, it's the Nano Max. So before, I was running like a 2-level pedal board, and I've really gotten spoiled on these top jacks. Like, I'm super OCD about how things are laid out, and to be able to have everything in a row is like, I love it. Like, And these pedals do a lot. Specifically this one, the next pedal we're going to in my chain. I always love reverb. I mean, I always have. But this has a great 60s reverb. That's the setting I use on it. All the reverbs sound great. And I go into the 63, it's like a 63 tube tremolo that I go through as well. So just having that alone, just to me it does a lot. I mean, there's so many sounds you can get with it. Reverb in the trim, I pretty much always leave the reverb on. I use this first channel more as like it's like a light, what do I got it on? I got it on the plate with like light modulation. I use this one side is like just very ethereal sounding, ambient kind of reverb. And I actually use the preset on this side. It's like a really crazy shimmer thing that I'll use in between songs in conjunction with the transmitter. And last in the chain is the El Capistan. I've always loved these pedals and I always thought they were great, but when the version 2 came out and I heard it, it's like they really dialed it in. Like I was super sold on this pedal. I use this a lot. It's very clear. I mean, it really does sound like an old tape delay. So here's like a little synth setup I did. I'm actually kind of new to all this synth stuff. I've not really wanted to get into it because I've been afraid, oh man, this is going to be another rabbit hole for my OCD. But here's my humble setup. I set up for these shows that we've been doing. I just got this Mother 32 Moog. This is the one that I really know least about. I don't know hardly anything about this side. Like, I'm sure all the synth dudes are gonna be like, this fucking noob, you know, like, what are you doing? Anyway, I can still get some cool tones and like get it in the right key and make some cool noises out of it. And I got this. This is like a really cool, it's a Synth 1 app. It's really simple. I mean, really all I'm doing is creating pads in between songs in the key that I'm doing. So it really doesn't have to be that complex, even though I know that I'm going to go and buy some synths afterwards. This is probably actually the first synth that I bought. It's the OP1 Teenage Engineering, and it's just really, really cool. I mean, it's got so many synth sounds. I mean, it's got a 4-track in it. Once again, I found like 8 presets on this that has really cool like pad sounds. So I'm running that, the Synth 1 app, and the Mother 32 in conjunction to get different sounds. I'm running the Synth 1 into this Pictronics Class A boost. And it's really great because you can turn it down and kind of match like the output of everything. You know, it kind of allows me to, you know, some of these are really loud in this app, some of these settings, so I'm able to turn it down and turn it up as need be. This and this are running into the Empress, which I love Empress, man. The super delay was one of my all-time favorite delays. Really killer, does so many things, really inspiring pedal. Same thing with this reverb. I just got this though. It does so much, and I've yet to even like really crack into it. But like the super delay, when I cracked into it, it was incredible. These two come into this. These two do, and run through the MXR microflanger and the Space Echo like mono. And the Moog actually comes into the input of this and comes out full wet on this, but the other two signals had the dry signal coming through that as well. That's pretty much it. The Space Echo is really cool. Microflanger is just really cool for giving it some swirls and texture to the synth sounds. And into the radial active direct box and out to the front of house. Nothing really crazy. This is really last minute setup, but super stoked with the sounds that's coming out of it. So, all right, thanks for checking out my rig. You can check out all of our social media sites, Instagram, Facebook, and all that online for all of our tour dates coming up. We also are on all the streaming sites, Spotify, Apple Music, and all that good stuff, Bandcamp. So check us out, and thanks for checking it out.